How many people are calling you on a daily basis to come and sell them a home? Oh, that's right, zero. The only way a real estate person has any chance of making it in this business is by reaching out to people. The first thing that I do is I say, pull out your wallet, pull out your purse, grab your pocket card, and then read it to me and what it says verbatim. And across every single real estate license across the country, regardless of state, they all say the same thing, Mike, and that is real estate salesperson license. That's what they all say. Well, here's the thing. If real estate is a sales business, which I hope to share with the audience and have them consider that it is, the foundation of any sales business, any sales career is prospecting. And we're going to talk about this in great detail. But here's the thing. Unlike insurance, unlike the mortgage industry, real estate is an outbound sales business, meaning this. When somebody gets their license, they do not go and sit in an office, Mike, where they have customers that walk in the door like they do at a retail shop, like they probably do at a bank. And so therefore, it's an outbound business. And so if it's an outbound business, meaning people are not reaching out to you, the only way a real estate person has any chance of making it in this business is by reaching out to people. And we'll unpack that a little bit more, but that's the foundation. I think that people that get into this real estate space have to be able to accept the fact, and let's just face it. How many people, when you get your real estate license, how many people are calling you on a daily basis to come and sell them a home? Oh, that's right, zero, right? Yeah. So it's not like working at Chase Bank where you're a personal banker and you sit there with your suit and tie and people walk in the door. So that's the foundation, and we can unpack that a little bit more if you'd like. What's simple to do is simple not to do, right? And so I relate a lot of things to health and fitness because I'm into that world. And the thing is, people do the same thing there. They're researching the best shoe and how do they get the best shock absorption, where like the most fit people on earth is like, dude, who cares what shoes you wear? It doesn't matter, right? It's calories in, calories out, resistance training, period. But they're spending all their time researching the best form and the best shoes and the best clothes to wear when they work out. What's happening, Mike, is this is why we call it creative avoidance. They're coming up with creative ways to trick themselves that they're being productive so they don't feel bad about avoiding the real work at hand. And that's what happens over and over and over again, especially in the real estate business where you're an independent contractor and no one's holding you accountable. The problem when people get into real estate specifically, Mike, is somehow they get tricked into believing, or they just don't know, it's not their fault because we're doing a bad job setting the expectation up front. They don't know they're getting in an outbound direct sales business. They don't know that. They think that when they get their license, well, they don't even think about this, but their subconscious mind says, okay, I'm gonna get my license, and then somehow business is gonna come to me. It's only later that they find out, okay, no one's calling me. I have to do something to reach out to people. That's number one. Number two is the misconception around the word cold calling. Let me clarify what this means to me. So the way in which I look at prospecting versus cold calling is this. My definition of prospecting, Mike, is one, identifying a target market, a target audience. That's step number one. And then step number two is to then proactively reach out to these people. Phone calls, knocking doors, emailing, text messaging, sending video text, messaging on Instagram, Facebook, going to meet them in person. These are all proactive ways of reaching out. I call that prospecting. Cold calling, and what people think that it is they open up the phone book and just start dialing away. I am not a huge proponent of that. And step one of prospecting is what did I say? I said identifying a target market. This could be investors, this could be downsizers, this could be for sale by owners, this could be a variety of different things. But that's the difference to me when we talk about prospecting. That's the foundation of any sales business, right? If you and I were in the insurance space, you know what we'd be doing? We'd be picking up the phone, calling orphan clients, past clients, people who had past policies with us, right? So that's the second piece. Now, based on what you just said, in the beginning of somebody's real estate career, you have to start building a pipeline. Your activity levels have to be extremely high in the beginning. Why? Because you have no pipeline and you have no skills. So what I always tell people, it's gonna take you 100 conversations to generate one opportunity, because you're talking to mostly people you don't have a relationship with, you don't know them, and they don't know you in the beginning. What happens over time is that activity comes way down because the skills go way up, and then the conversations you have are no more are you calling strangers. You are still making phone calls, but the phone calls are people inside the database who you have a relationship with. That is the repeat and referral business. And the last myth I'll break is the people that are getting most of the referrals are still making phone calls. It's just to these people that they have the relationship with. They never stop picking up the phone. This is what every person in real estate should be doing. Every single conversation is a wholesale, acquisition, or a listing opportunity. Every single one. And let me let everybody in on a little secret that when I say this, they're going to say, wow, that's a good point. There's been a big stink in the marketplace around Zillow and iBuyer and all this stuff. Well, dude, wholesaling, as you know, been going on for 30, 40, 50 years. That's an iBuyer. We're going to talk to a homeowner. We give them an offer that's all cash, close in a week, no inspection, no appraisal, make it super simple, 30, 40% off retail. And if they take it, great. If not, we can list it retail. It's the best of both worlds. And quite frankly, this is how somebody can set a lot more appointments taking this approach. What I do like is calling as the potential buyer and the realtor. This is where, both of these worlds collide, and it's very valuable for the seller to say, listen, if it makes sense, I would love to give you a cash offer, make it headache free. I'd love to do that. And when I'm there, when we meet, I'll present you an offer for your property right on the spot. And if that offer doesn't make sense, I'll walk you through a retail strategy. And then magic script, you can decide what makes the most sense for you. Fair enough, right? That's the key thing.
I love it.
It's actually quite the opposite, because number one, we're giving people options and choices, and the seller makes their own decisions. That's number one. Number two, the argument I would make would be that offering somebody a cash offer, closing in 7 days, no inspection, no showings, no cleaning the house, no getting the dogs out, no getting the kids out, no appraisal, no negotiations with buyers, none of that to make the process easy, I think has great value to the homeowner. And I'd make the argument that homeowner maybe is taking advantage of me taking my cash, but the seller gets to make that decision what they would like to do. And for a lot of people, Mike, that's very enticing to them because everyone's situation is different. And here's what we know. The top 3 stresses in life is death, divorce, and selling a house. Giving somebody a cash offer that is stress-free can bring a lot of value to somebody's life. So that's an absolute myth. It is absolutely not true. I mean, look at Zillow. They bought 7,000 houses this way, right? And there's companies that do many more than 7,000. I mean, they're buying hundreds of thousands of homes every year because sellers don't want to go through, the headache of listing it and showings and open houses and that whole rigmarole to try to maximize their price. There's a different segment. There's a different thing for everybody. That's why all these different models don't scare me, because there's different segments of the marketplace, and what's valuable for one person is completely different to another consumer. And that's the truth. In my experience, I will tell you that the majority of people starting a team, Mike, in the real estate space, do it for the complete wrong reasons. And the reason they do it when they admit this over a couple of beers, when nobody's looking and no one's around, they want to start a team so that they personally don't have to sell any real estate. That's why they do it. I mean, that's the bottom line truth. And listen, you can argue, is that the right thing? Is that the wrong thing? But the problem with that is this. What most people think about when they start building a team is, I'm going to put my credit card out there. I'm going to go buy leads from Zillow, from Realtor.com, from Trulia. They're all buyer leads. I'm not going to teach my people how to prospect or build a strong foundation or any sales skills. They think the leads are the thing that makes a successful team. Leads are easy to get. I mean, leads are no longer an issue at all. Lead conversion is no issue, or lead generation isn't. It's all about lead conversion. So they go and spend a bunch of money on internet leads. Their team can't convert them. They become the admin. Their margins are next to nothing. They would have made a lot more money, a lot less work, a lot less headache had they just sold 20 houses on their own, made 200 grand, and called it a day. But because of their ego, and I want to have a team, and I want my name on everything, and I want to be famous, they're not actually making money. Like, the margins on these teams are like next to nothing. It's really interesting. When they give that credit card to the marketing company, whatever company it is, they think that decision, pulling the credit card out of their purse or their wallet, is the thing that's going to solve all their problems. Here's what they don't understand. You talk about cold calling. Here's my issue. If you buy leads, you're running a Facebook pay-per-click campaign. This is your world, so let's debate it. You run a PPC campaign and you're running a forced registration lead online. That is absolutely a cold call. You're calling the person. They didn't ask you to call. They don't want you to call. They don't know who's calling, and they're going to give you rejection every single time. What are you calling about? No, I'm not interested. So the industry has no problem doing that, right? These marketers, it's like, wait a minute. You're saying they shouldn't prospect, they shouldn't make outbound calls. You're selling them leads that they absolutely have to pick up the phone and call and deal with rejection. And in some cases, it's actually worse because you force the person to opt in. That's my take on the whole lead thing. So good question. So this is what I spend all my time on, right? Is like understanding the housing economics, because that's the space I live. Interest rates have to go up. Which is here's the thing. Prices are probably going to go up 2, 3, 4, 5% this year, somewhere in that range. It's not going to be double digits. It won't be another 20% increase. Values have already seen an all-time high. However, we just hit last month in January the all-time record for housing inventory, which is the cause of home prices. So because inventory is absolutely so low, this is simply a supply and demand thing, right? So that supply, as interest rates climb up, right, the supply should start to catch up, because the buyer activity will naturally slow down as interest rates go up, which will allow inventory to catch up. That's what is required. That's probably what will happen this year, so that prices won't be affected. They're not going to go down. There's not going to be a housing market crash, nothing like that. We just might see more of a normal market, where houses don't sell with 14 offers in 14 minutes, where buyers actually have a chance to get their offers accepted. So there's a lot of people in the industry, myself included, that would like to see things normalize a little bit more. And so, I think interest rates will definitely continue to go up. I think by the end of the year, they'll most likely, be 4.5%, 4.75% on a 30-year fixed mortgage, which in the grand scheme of things is very insignificant. Historic lows, it means nothing. But we've been so spoiled, Mike, with these interest rates being next to nothing, the government giving money away for free, that a 4.5% interest rate people get all excited about. But that's my take on the housing market in 2 minutes. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, there's a lot of cash buyers. I mean, the transfer of wealth right now in this country will go down in history as probably the greatest transfer of wealth ever. So yeah, there is a lot of cash circulating out there. It'll be interesting to see what happens, but I think that the millennials coming of age of like that first time home buyer of that 33, 34, 35 years old, they will continue to push this market forward as baby boomers start to downsize and their parents start to get into like retirement homes, and builders start to build more as supply chain issues start to hopefully get figured out. All of this will help bring more inventory to the marketplace. So overall, I think the media likes the headlines, but like you have to understand, we've had all-time lows, like in the history of the world, inventory, and we've had all-time lows in the history of the world, mortgage interest rates. I mean, it's just not reality. At some point, you've got to, get out of Oz and get back to Kansas, No. So we did that. My wife and I did that. We started in 2007 during that Great Recession, and we invested tons of money. I mean, 80% of our wealth was in real estate, and we rode the market up. We had rentals, we did flips, we did all kinds of stuff, wholesale, we did it all. And I'm not 40 yet, and our goal was to be debt-free and financially free, meaning that if we didn't make any more income at 40, that we could live forever financially free, and we hit that goal. And one of the ways in which we did that was we liquidated all of our real estate assets at the end of 2021. Lot for tax purposes, but then, it was our plan the whole time. We bought when the market was at its all-time low. We poured everything into it. We rode the market all the way up to historic highs. We cashed in and we paid off everything, and we were able to accomplish that goal that we've had for 15 years. It feels really good. And I was just telling my business partners, it just puts you in a different framework on like your mindset and how you approach things and what you're going to do and how you use your time. Like it's just, you look through things just so differently now. Well, yeah, so you nailed it. So funny you picked up on that. So my younger self, egomaniac, everything had to have my name on it. What I've learned through what you're talking about, nothing has my name on it. It's reverseselling.com, Brookstone Realtors, Maximus Title Agency, and National Mortgage Funding, because we need to create a sellable asset that doesn't have anything to do with me or my name. And so, yeah, I've learned that just through the years. And the other part about that I learned is when you start to grow a real organization, like people want to feel like they're part of something bigger than themselves, and they don't want to build your thing. They want to build something together that they feel like is theirs as well. So if your name is on that's just my experience. If your name's on everything, it'll be tough to find people to buy into that vision when it's just all about the business owner. Yeah, you're right. And you're 100% right. That was part of the reasons why I opened a brokerage, was to create a sellable asset, because a real estate sales business, I mean, people talk about it. The reality is they're not that sellable. I mean, in my experience, I haven't seen, anything of significance there. Like some people have these stories like, I know this guy that sold his book of business. Well, it's not like insurance that's paying residual income because you have premiums that are renewing every single year. A realtor's business, in my opinion, really doesn't have any value. So that's the other reason why we opened a brokerage. I'll tell you, I mean, I'll just say it's, first off, when somebody agrees, because I, like you, I believe in personal development, and I've had a lot of bad coaching experience. I have a lot of good coaching experience. And I'll tell you, in the world, I'm only where I'm at through coaching and getting mentorship in an unconventional education path. I didn't go to traditional college. So from the most part, it's helped me get to where I'm at. And so when somebody comes out of pocket, and invests in themselves, I take that very, very seriously. And the thing that I take most serious, Mike, is the truth. And with most coaches, they're so, just like a lot of brokers, They are scared to tell the truth because they're scared that the person will leave their company, not give them money, not join their thing, not do the thing, when they need to be told the truth. So that becomes your own value proposition. So I have made it kind of my belief and just like shooting people straight, because this industry is just so full of you know what, that I think people, it's refreshing for them just to be told the truth and not what they're looking or expecting to hear, but like the no BS, here's exactly what it's going to take. Can you accept that? You know, and because I believe that's what I owe my coaching clients, because that's what I think they signed up for. They don't need more fluff because they've been fluffed the whole time since they've been in real estate, which is the reason why they're not succeeding. So I just feel like they've had enough of it. One of my favorite lines when talking to a seller, Mike, is there's two types of agents. There's the agent that you'll meet with, tell you everything you want to hear, make it sound phenomenal, tell you crazy prices, it's going to be so simple. Or there's another agent who only wants you to tell you the truth. What type of agent do you want to work with? And obviously they always say the one that's going to tell me the truth. And then that opens up the door for you to be honest with them, and it brings you closer because you're being so authentic. The revamping of reverseselling.com. So reverseselling.com, yes, we have our like coaching system, but reverseselling.com in the future, very near future, is going to be a self-serving education platform for people in the real estate space, where they can go there and learn about anything that they want, right? So leadership development, growing a team, sales skills specifically, listing presentation, buyer consultation, how to organize your database, how to grow on social media, how to do content. We want reverseselling.com to be the go-to education website for anybody in the real estate industry. And so we're going under a total revamp right now, and hopefully that thing launches here probably late spring, early summer. I would say the same thing every single time. You know, I would tell you that the one reason, and I think about this all the time, the reason why people aren't succeeding, it's just so simple. It's not easy, but it's very simple. They're just not talking to enough people on a daily basis. And so when you're getting into this industry, just focus on having conversations. I like the number 20 conversations a day. Just let that be the only goal. Every day, 20 new conversations, 20 new conversations, 20 new conversations. And when you look up in a year, if you can do that, it's 4,800 conversations over the course of a year. You will absolutely sell 24 houses in your first year, I guarantee it.